Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the third instalment of Conversations with publisher and editor of Totally Speedway, myself, Daniel Powell. Tonight we've got Glen Beaton. He's one of the country's leading sprint car crew chiefs. He's been doing it for a long time on a full-time basis. In a job that's really tough to hold down, a full-time employment in Speedway, Glen's certainly been able to do that across both America and here in Australia. But yeah, we've got him on the line. So Glen, thank you. Firstly, thank you very much for making time for us.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Anytime.
Okay, so Glen, tell me a bit about how it all beginning. So you're originally from born a Ballarat boy in country Victoria. How did the Speedway thing come about?
Pretty well. Just had my mum's family from Warrnambool and came down here in the summer holidays to hang out with my grandparents. So we spent a bit of time out at Warrnambool over New Year's Day and classic and that sort of thing, and always look forward to coming down here for that time. And yeah, we sort of enjoyed our time here and just realised one day that that's probably what I wanted to do, and been lucky enough to make a career out of it.
In terms of, what do you remember about going to Warrnambool the first time? Was it the sprint cars or was it just Warrnambool, the track itself?
Back in the day, it was always very fast and hooked up, and it was always guys flipping, and yeah, it was always very fast. And my earliest memory was probably Gary Brake. He was always my childhood hero as a fan, and yeah, he sort of came from the back there a few times and quite a few memorable races there. So that's sort of what sticks out in my mind, I guess, just the speed of them and just how raw they are, and by going down. We could see the pits if you went down to the fence there. Yeah, that was always pretty cool. Not even in the pits, but we could see through the fence, and it's quite a bit different to the supercar style of racing, where you can't really get in there and see right in there. But to me, seeing all the trucks and all the guys sort of work on the cars was really cool.
Yep, so one of your probably fondest memories of when Gary Brazier won his first Australian title, which is 1994 at Premier Speedo. What do you remember about that?
I was
must have been about 14.
13 then at that time, 13,
yeah.
14. But I just like I said, Gary was a childhood hero of mine, and so he just did some incredible things over the time. And yeah, it was just amazing to sort of watch him get up in the seat and just wax them basically. And yeah, it's really, really cool to watch.
So during that time, you were doing a bit of go-karting? So around...
Yeah, we had our own, sort of family. We did a bit of go-karting at the time. Me and my brother and my father actually go-karted as well at one time. So we'd sort of do a lot of races in country Victoria. We'd go to Adelaide every now and then. And yeah, I sort of finished up that once I moved to Melbourne and got into the supercar thing. But my brother carried on, and he went on to be Australian champion in go-kart and bitumen, so that's pretty cool.
Yep, so with that. And tell me a bit about, you're a fitter and machinist by trade. Half towards the end of your trade was when you were able to leave, and that's when you were working with John Faulkner Racing as a volunteer?
Yeah, so I was like to go, obviously, did my apprenticeship at Dendex Brakes up there, and sort of knew John through a family friend, and just kept plugging him to basically go and help him out, be a bit of a volunteer. So I did the Enduros, basically Sandown and Bathurst at the time, and so I got a bit of a foot in the door there, and was lucky enough to get a full-time position with him. I got early release from my apprenticeship and finished up all my schooling early, and basically headed straight to Melbourne, and went down and basically lived the dream really. And there was only sort of 4 or 5 of us full-time on the car, which was pretty rare those days. Obviously, with the bigger teams, probably got 20 to 25 people. So it was good to get down there and really, do a lot of things that probably a lot of, if you're in another bigger team, you wouldn't get to do have so much variety. So it was really cool to go there and just see how everyone worked, with supercar stuff. But John was pretty anal about, everything that he did, and he was he's a perfectionist. So that sort of got me, along that line, and sort of gave me a good step up for the rest of my career, really. So
what was the goals in these early stages? Did you, I'd done a bit of research and I found out, read You went to Damascus. Is that how you say that? Damascus College? Is that how you pronounce it?
Damascus,
Damascus, sorry, in Ballarat, and I found some an old story that you did, I think, post your finishing school there. All I ever wanted to do was either race cars or work on them for a living. What was the goals at that stage? Was it, had you given up the racing side of things and just wanted to focus on working on cars?
Yeah, I mean, at that time I was sort of just about finishing up go-karts and, things got expensive and especially on the apprenticeship wage.
Because to the point that you had to fund it, so that's why you had to, help fund it?
We were sort of spoon-fed or anything. We worked for everything we had, and that was a good deal for me and my brother. Learned us how to save money and keep off the street safely. And it was just a deal where if you wanted to go any further, you had to spend a lot more money. And I just thought, well, I might as well go and work on someone else's car and get paid for it and still enjoy my racing. So that's sort of how that came about. So
was the goal to get into V8 supercars, or were you thinking Europe to work as a mechanic over there, or what were you thinking in those early days working with V8 supercars?
I guess the typical in Australia at that time was supercars for a young kid like myself to get into the game, and thought that was pretty cool. Europe didn't really phase me, I guess. I had a few friends that did do Formula One, and I heard a lot of stories about guys doing monotonous jobs. You do this and that's it. Whereas over here we come down a bit more variety, especially when I did work with John, the small team we could do a lot of different stuff. So I wasn't worried about going overseas as far as Europe or anything like that. But obviously the Sprintcar stuff, there's a whole lot of employment there for full-time stuff. So because you've really got to be versatile regardless of what you're doing in Speedway, whether you're a promoter or running media, you've got to be versatile in order to make it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, so what did your time with working with John Faulkner Racing? Obviously, predominantly they were a privateer team. They were kind of in that phasing in period of going to the level one with that. But what did you learn from being with John Faulkner Racing? Because they did it on a tight budget. There wasn't a big team.
Oh, absolutely. The thing probably I learned was, like I said before, John was a perfectionist, and he taught me a lot of good values over the time to put me in good stead for a race car career. You just got to work hard, just basically put the hours in, and the rewards will come. So he always had the sort of Larry Perkins mentality. The races are one of the shops, so we need to knuckle down and get it done. Obviously, we didn't have the money to be up front, lots of big teams. But, we probably punched above our weight most of the time with the results we got. And, it was very rewarding for us as a small crew to get those good results. Our top for us was, pretty big. So it was, it was really good. And he sort of steered me in the right direction as far as, he said, you need to go to the world to be in the race car industry. So I went and got my welding tickets, and, that's put me in good stead to be on the track. So, I really can't thank him enough for pointing me in the right direction, really.
Yeah. I spoke to John Faulkner earlier this morning. It sounds like a where are they now sort of episode. But I was speaking to him, and I said, explain Glenn, and he goes, he's a shy guy, can come up with one-liners every now and then, but he certainly lets his work do the talking. Is that how you see yourself?
Yeah, I just like to, exactly right, I like to just put my head down and get into it and, put the hours in, and if we have good results, that's great. If we don't, well, that's part of it. But just try to keep a low profile and just get it done, and
Yeah. So certainly doing an interview like this isn't. It's certainly out of your comfort zone.
I'm a little bit. I guess done a couple, but
Yeah. So when you finished up with John Faulkner Racing at the end of 2002, it was. Then you joined Gary Rogers Motorsport, so one of the leading teams. They had Garth Tander at that time. They had a very young Jamie Whincup. How did you get into the team? How did that opportunity present itself?
Well, basically, I was put in for a couple of jobs because I think John was sort of thinking...
You're starting to wind up then, wasn't he?
Sort of trying to wind things up, and I thought, well, I really want to stay in this game, so now I've got a bit of experience. I can put in for a few jobs, and actually went to see that with Jeff Birch from HRT, and had a couple of interviews there, and interviewed with Gary, and I think Gibson Motorsport and SPR, and Gary ended up saying, yeah, we'll make it happen. He likes to employ country guys, so that sort of appealed to him. They're also Ballarat, and he seems to think that country guys were fairly hard workers, so he's happy with that, which, you know, the majority of his team works in the country, which is good. And then, said, I'll take that job, and then the day after, Jeff Gretsch rang up from HRT and said, mate, we're keen to have you down here. When can you start? I said, well, sorry, mate, I've already committed to Gary. I'm not going to go back on my word.
So back then you could have been potentially working with, Craig Lowndes and Scafie, I think, were back then at that time?
Honestly, I think that position was actually a machinist CNC position.
Okay, yeah.
That would have probably been a little bit different area, but
wasn't more hands-on.
Want to be on the race team.
Yep. So okay, so that opportunity, and so so you were helping with. So explain your role when you stepped into GRM.
Stepped into GRM, basically a number 2 mechanic on Garth Car.
Yep.
For the first year, did that, and I think that year we started the Monaro program, I believe, with the GDP and the Bathurst 24 hour.
Yep.
I spent quite a bit of time basically on our off weekends. There was a couple of us that went away and spent some time doing that, which was really a good time. You know, it wasn't the pressure of the supercar stuff, so we did that on the weekends. Gary came along and we all had a pretty good time. I think the majority of that was the following year with Nathan and Brocky drove the other car. It was sort of a small skeleton crew, and we sort of really had a good time going to Wakefield and QR and all those sort of places, and Tassie, and had a lovely time. But
So how was it with Jamie Whincup? Like he was, like it's famous to say that Gary Rogers let him go. What was, and this was Jamie Whincup's first taste of supercars. What was it like? Did you have much to do with him, or naturally being part of the team? How was it? How was Jamie Whincup back then before he rose to prominence?
Oh, mate, he's basically the same as what you'll see on TV today. He's a pretty crazy dude, and he's very driven to get results. And at the time, that was when I was phasing in the VT Commodore, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, actually, it was an X-Model, to be honest. But anyway, he had the Model before Commodore, and really, we didn't have the engineering staff to get his car sort of up to speed. So, his results weren't
reflective
what was happening in the background, basically. So he probably didn't get a fair shot at it, really, to be honest. He's a really great guy. Because we're a similar age, we actually hung out quite a bit and spent a lot of time together, and we actually he was in his jet skis, which he still is, and we built a trailer at work after hours for him, and we spent a lot of time together, and still mates with him today, and he's still, at the end of the day, he's still the same guy he was back then, and a lot of people sort of don't really like him for the way he sort of comes across, but I mean, he's just a guy that's so driven to get the results. He's just like he is a gun driver. So
could you see that in those early stages? Could you see like the drive that he had? Because it was his first year was by far not very promising to the point where Gary let him go. What could you see in those early stages, despite having the struggles with facing in the car?
Well, he drove the car at the end of that year, and I mean he definitely put in the good results there. It's just I don't think I don't know whether we finished either of those races that year, but definitely, he was at the point here the coach was with a good car and could show what he could do, but unfortunately, Gary thought we need to move on a bit, and I think that's the year after we got Cameron Conville, and he probably had a bit more of an up-spec car, I guess, than Jamie did, so he did get the results.
Because one of those didn't Cameron win the Winton round, I think it was, in 2004, which is controversial, wasn't it, against one of the Kellys or something, or the passing at Winton, with that. So, and tell us a bit about the Bathurst 24 hours. So there's a famous, in 2003 there was a 1-2 finish. It was a star-studded lineup. Peter Brock was in the winning car, Jason Bright, Todd Kelly and Greg Murphy. In the second car, which ended up second, who were the defending champions of the year before, Garth Tander, Nathan Pretty, Stephen Richards and Cameron Conville. What were you thinking at that time when you were surrounded by all this, motorsport royalty, and the fact that Peter Brock was one of your childhood heroes? Yeah,
that was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done with all those guys there. It was just, you sort of have to pinch yourself and go, geez, these are the guys I watched when I was a kid, and now I'm working on the car. Like, it's just, pretty unreal we're in the same garage, you listen to them on the radio, you're talking to them, like, it was just pretty surreal, It was really good times those days.
Yeah, and how was Peter Brock? Like he'd retired from supercar racing, but he was coming back and forth and doing different things. But how was the Brocky in your eyes? Because sometimes they say it's not good to meet your heroes, but how was it meeting your hero in Peter Brock?
Like when we go away for the weekend, he was very reserved kind of a guy. Like he sort of kept to himself, and Dad would usually come and he'd sort of finish up in the car, get a bit of a debrief, and then he'd head out and go to his motel and go into a few 7 try teams or whatever he had, and he'd rock up the next morning and say, "Hey, now fellas," and he'd always thank you, and no matter who you were or what you were doing, he'd always make sure he said thanks before he left. So I mean, that's just the type of guy he was, and I think we spend a mega amount of time with him. We'd come out with the odd meal with us, but for the most part, he was very sort of reserved, and he's a different sort of a guy. But I mean, everyone's different. He's definitely a legend. Yep.
So where was it at the end of 2004? Where was your head at then? With the supercar, the V8 supercar deal. What were you thinking? Were you growing tired of working in supercars? Were you missing the speedway? Where was your head at that stage?
I really enjoyed what I was doing there. I was involved in the pit stops and did all the stuff on a race day basis. The second year I was there, I did worked on the gearboxes and sub-assembly and rear end and all that sort of thing. So that was good to get away from the cars basically and do something different, probably a little bit more specialised, and that was really good. I sort of looked a little bit broader, and Sprintcar has always been, or Speedway has been my childhood sort of love, and I just thought, well, maybe I can make that work. If I can make Supercars work, I should be able to make that work. So,
was it that naivety that because there wasn't many paid crew back then, if any, sort of thing, or Sprintcars was phasing into 410s then? Like, what were you thinking? Were you just going there and just having a crack and just go whatever happens sort of thing, and kind of like what you did with the road racing when you volunteered your time? And
I just thought, I'm young enough, I've got no ties, I'm good enough to give this a crack now. And I think at the time there was probably only 5 or 6 people that were actually full time with Sprintcars in Australia at that time, and there's a lot of guys that did the 6-month stuff and did the 6 months in America as well, which I thought, geez, that'd be alright. I've always wanted to go to America, and why not try and get involved with that and try and get someone else to pay for it, and I could enjoy it while I'm actually making some money. So kind of gave Max thumbs in your ring, and I didn't really know him, even though we sort of had a bubbling connection. I sort of spoke to Gary, and he loves Speedway. I mean, I think he actually likes Speedway more than supercars, but there's a lot more money in supercars to be made, so he's into that. But spoke to Gary about it. He was more than happy for me to pursue what I wanted to do, and I gave Max a ring and basically said to him, look, mate, I realise you've got 2 guys you pay, and there's not much room for anyone else, so I'm happy to, if you'd like me to come along and give you a hand, knowing I was from Supercars, I'm pretty sure he gave Gary a ring, and I'll be more than happy to volunteer for you for 5 or 6 months to go on all the series and just see what it's all about and see if that's what I want to do. And he's like, no problem, let's make it happen.
So that was the beginning of the 2004-2005 season. Fast forward, like to the start of the season, how were you feeling? Like, what were you doing? Were you doing odd jobs to try and make money come in, or what were you doing? Dedicating your time?
Well, finished straight up with Gary, and then I think the Masters in Adelaide, and I think in November was my first race with him, and kind of flew to Adelaide and met back to the airport, and we sort of went out, and I think we flew in on the Friday, and ended up getting on beers Friday night, and it was that was the initiation into sprint cars, and
so was that the first time?
How wild they were,
especially with Max, and also the fact that was this your first pit crewing experience, pretty much, or had you dabbled in it, helping friends at the Speedway?
No, honestly, that was sort of it for the Speedway. That was the first go, so
okay,
I didn't really know what taking to run or what. I didn't know nothing really. Just a mechanical, I guess, mind about it, but that was about it. I just sort of went it from there and sort of got along really good with Bounce, and Brendan Telfer was there at that point. Those guys really out of their wing, and they're for where I'm at today, I really thank them for what they did for me. They didn't have to teach me nothing; I was just volunteering. So really got to thank them as well.
And how did you find it? How did you find really the dirty nights? With the speed. Obviously, you grew up around speed, but how was it being more hands-on with the sprint car?
I really enjoyed the part of basically being at the racetrack for just roll the car out, you race, you pack it up, you go to car wash, and you're done in about 6, 7, 8 hours sort of thing. I really enjoyed that part of it because we get to the supercars and it's a long weekend when you're sort of there for 3, 4 days setting up. A lot of time drags on there where you don't really do that much track time, whereas the sprint cars you just hook into it, get it done, and away you go. So that's what I enjoyed straight away from it. And then if you did have a bad night, you just go on to the next night and away you go. So I really enjoyed that part of it as well. You sort of forget about the night before and get back into it. Yeah,
that's the beauty. Yeah, you don't really have to mull around for weeks on end sometimes thinking about what went wrong. You can just get, as you said, with Speed Week and events like that where it's back-to-back sort of thing. So
yeah, absolutely. It was just good times back in the day, and it's probably a lot different now. Everyone sort of socialised a lot more, and it was definitely a lot. Well, it's still fun these days, but it was a lot different back then, where everyone did socialise.
Yeah, because your first time at the end of that season, Max had won his 6 of 7 World Series titles. How was it for yourself being part of a winning team, like basically stepping straight into a winning team? Because Max was really in strong form in those years.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just a dream, sort of like it was just unreal. Like you just think, geez, I've always went to Warrnambool on January 1 to watch the World Series, and just really sort of. I remember back in the day looking, they used to have the results in the Herald Sun from when I raced at Claremont and Bunbury and that, and you sort of look up the points, and obviously knowing that really back then days, and you just go, hey, these are Brett Lacey, Gary Rush, they're all there, Max, and like how good is this? And next minute, sort of being a part of it, that was just, once again, just pretty surreal.
Yeah, exactly. So you went from success with GRM and obviously with the 12-hour or the 24-hour back then, but then straight into the sprint car sort of thing. Does success make doing what you do? Is that why you do it, or why did you turn your hand to being involved in Speedway as a crew chief?
I guess it's just the challenge for me. I mean, it's with the track changing throughout the night. I mean, you just got to keep on top of things and just keep watching the racetrack. And at the end of the day, it's just, we all want to win, but it's got to be fun as well. So that's a big aspect of it. It's a lot of hard work to get where you're at. So you've got to make sure it's fun and you enjoy it. And just have a good time with it, really. I mean, and when you do that, the success will come.
Yeah, so with that. And in terms of following that season, that was when you, at the end of that season, you went through to over to America for the first time?
Yep, so that's when the Outlaws Down Under were at Parramatta.
Yep.
So that was when quite a few of them, Brian Hilliard got the guys out, and Lonnie Parsons was over there at the time with the Casey's General Store car, and kind of met him and talked to quite a few of the guys and basically got some cards and numbers, and they just said, give us a ring when you want to come over and we'll do something.
So was that an awesome opportunity for yourself to, like the Outlaws Down Under, obviously it brought a lot of new cars into the country, and also a lot of drivers that haven't been in Australia for a long time, if at all, sort of thing. How was that for you? Did that enable you to just travel across to up to Sydney as opposed to having to go over to America? Was that a good help for you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot easier to get something done face to face. You can talk to the guys, shake their hand, and basically look me in the eye and just tell them, you really want to do this. And basically, I just kept bugging them, and calling, and finally got a shot with Lonnie in the Casey's General Store car. And Tim Schafer was driving at that time, so I went over and did 3 months at that time. And
so what were you doing as that role? Was that just a crew to Tim Schafer, the 2010 Knoxville National Champion, known as the Steel City Outlaw? How did you find, what was your role in those early days?
Basically, so third guy there, so basically just a pitch really tired guy, play the trailer guy, and just basically take it all in, just try and soak up as much as I could, try and get back here and try and land a paid deal. So, once you go over there and sort of do the miles, a lot of people sort of, they think, oh shit, he's been to America, he must want to do it, so it makes it a bit easier to get something back in.
So it shows you're keen. And then how was it dealing with Tim, that southern drawl that he's got? Was it difficult at times to understand him when you were on race night?
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty quiet sort of fella.
Yeah.
Until we sort of went out and had a few beers, he was sort of game on then. But he's a pretty driven sort of fella. He's driven a lot of cars up to that point, Ross and whatever. So, he definitely was, capable of getting the job done. It's just at that time we really didn't have the proper, the equipment to qualify well probably, and we're always starting in the back. We'd always get hard charges, but we've always got too late then. So that was an interesting year to probably character building for everyone really, just sort of chipping away at it, and sort of put me in good stead to get back here and get a paid sort of part-time gig with Bill Mann.
Yep. So how are those? Because a lot of people, you can go over to America and you get all starry-eyed and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a job. It's a grinding job. You were over there basically just doing whatever you can sort of thing to get an opportunity. Was there a time, because people have went over there before and went, oh, this is not for me, and come back. Was there any stage that you were like, oh, this is tough and not really for me, or did that never enter your mind in those early stages?
No, not at all. I wanted to press on with it and try and learn and just soak as much as I could up. And you go over there working for $200 a week. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but I mean, it's what you want to do. Like I did here, 6 months for nothing. So
so you had nothing to lose.
Just do whatever you got to do. You're sleeping in the trailer because they didn't have a bed at the shop for me, and that's at the end of the day, when you're a kid that age, you don't care about that stuff. You just want to do it. Yeah,
you do, because that passion. So with that, then that led to an opportunity, a part-time opportunity with Bill Mann with the Performance Wholesale team. Cameron Gessner was the driver for that season. That was the 05-06 season.
Yep. So we partnered up with Cameron's driver, and Dave Sharman basically gave me a ring. So that sort of spent a little bit of time with him, obviously socialising with. When I was with Max and everyone sort of hanging out, he sort of gave me a call and said, look, what are you doing next year when we get back? And I said, well, nothing really. I just sort of wait to sort of get something. And he said, would you like to come and give me a hand and sort of be my tie guy? And I was like, yeah, no problem at all. So as soon as I got back, I was straight to Queensland, drove a unit, loaded the unit up, and lived with Dave for 3 years there. And really just had a good year with Cameron. And it was his sort of first time doing World Series or whatever. And it was a tough year because Cameron was sort of a rookie on the road, but character building once again. I think we had a pretty good result there, Australian title. I think it was that year, and just sort of had made up a really good friendship with Dave, and he's still one of my best mates now. He's in my wedding last year, and he's just Bill's done a lot for me over the years as well, and got a good relationship with him, and just good guys that I can call them friends.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So then that led the following season. You'd spent Brazier with the team for half the year. Then you had Shane Stewart, Robbie Farr finishing out the season for that season. Then in America, 2006, you were Jason Solwood. Then the following year with Terry McCarlin, you podiumed at the Knoxville Nationals. How was that? Was it a matter of just making the connections that led to Solwood and then to McCarl?
Yeah, so once again over there, back in the day, it was good because you socialise with everyone a little bit more than what you do now, and you sort of get to know these people and you sort of make the connections, and they can see that you've made the effort to come from Australia, so you want to do it. So when you're paying for your own flights, they see that and go, well, this kid must want to work. So lucky enough to work with Solwood on that R19 car for about 6 months, I think I did there. That year was when the NSC and Outlaws
when they had that split.
So we're lucky enough to do a lot of racing because we weren't committed to either. So
you could pick and choose between the Outlaws and the NSL.
So we did quite a few races that year, which was really good, and sort of probably stepped up more of a number two guy sort of in that role, and sort of come back here, and I think the following year here we moved over to Dan Morton's deal with James McFadden, and it took off from there.
Yeah. So with that deal, was that your first? Had you had much to do with James McFadden up until then, before then, other than probably
Not
socialising?
really. Just sort of got known a little bit the year before. I think when he was driving his dad's car.
Yep.
And just got to know them sort of thing, and just once again the social side that you sort of get to know everyone, and just sort of he was 15, 16. Before that, I sort of met him when he was crewing for Reedy and doing his time of try and get where he needed to be, and just sort of lifelong friends. He was also at the wedding last year, so
so it's all flowed on from there. So the obviously the Dan Morton racing team we did last time, it was only there for a season. Following that, obviously disappointed with how things ended there, but it is what it is, sort of thing with that. How did the deal with Jason Myers come about? So 2008 was when you first teamed up with Jason Myers, which was the first of 3.5 years. From there, how did the deal with Myers come about?
Well, actually, I was going to work for him the year before, but he just didn't have the budget to have 3 guys. So that's when I ended up working with Terry and spent some good time there with Terry. He's a great guy and learned a lot from him as well. And just sort of get in touch with Jason, and then he was having lunch one day with Dave, and Jason rings up and says, "Hey, you want to come over and give us a crack? I've found a budget to have you here, and I'd be more than happy to get you over here for a few months to see if you like us and we like you," and just kind of went straight over and got into it. So it was that was what probably really kicked off my career with from what I'm doing now, because Jason was just he's such a good leader, and just everything he does is just on point. So I mean, it's so easy to learn from someone like that, and I'll sort of spend a lot of time with him away from the racetrack as well. So driving his motorhome and stuff like that, which was really cool. We sort of got to talk about a lot of stuff over the time, and just learn a lot from him in life in general, really. Yeah.
And obviously, you had a lot of success. 2008, straight up second to Johnny Schatz, the Knoxville Nationals. Then in 2010, you won the World of Outlaws Championship, which is the first of 2. He won back-to-back 2010, 2011. During that time, you were doing 80 to 100 nights across about 40 states in the US and Canada. How was it? Was that your first big deal where you, like with Myers, where you were doing a whole lot of travelling and basically racing every second, third night?
Yeah, I think 2009 was my first full year over there.
Okay,
So we started in Florida, and I think we raced Parramatta and just went straight to Florida after that. We flew out and straight into it at Florida, and I was just couldn't believe how good it is just to go racing 24/7 racing over there, because we didn't have time to do nothing else. So it was, basically on the grind all the time, and just once again soaking everything in and just learning and just enjoying it.
So how did you find it? It's where you were doing it in drips and drabs in the past. How did you find being on the road on a full-time basis and with a guy that's competing at the front of the field, like for a World of Outlaws Championship?
Yeah, it was probably intense is the word. I mean, that 2009 year, I think we ran second to Schatz that year.
Okay, yeah.
At the end of the day, it was just about finishing races so we could keep the points up, and you'd just do anything to keep the car out there and keep it reliable. And it was just very intense. I mean, there wasn't a lot of heated moments, but it was, things, sometimes in the heat of battle, things happen, and, that's just part of it. You just got to learn to deal with those sort of things and press on.
Yeah.
Like I said before, you just go for another night the next night, and away you go. And, lucky enough to have a lot of success with him, and, just had a lot of life lessons, I guess, with him, and very lucky to be a part of it.
So with the what does it mean with yourself to win a World of Outlaws title and be on the crew? Not to actually be after the pain of running second the year before, but to go and back up the following year and take out the win. What did that mean for you?
I mean, to beat someone like Johnny Schatz, who'd won it, I don't know how many years in a row before that.
About 6, I think it was. Yeah.
It was just like, wow, we've beaten this guy who's been so good. Like, it was pretty surreal, and all that sort of thing. Like, it was just like, wow, this is where it's at. This is the pinnacle. Like, it was just, amazing. And, the guys gave us just the trophy and all the stuff. So we've got sitting at home in the shed looking at it. It's pretty cool knowing that, probably there's not a whole lot of Australians, if any, I guess, I don't know, to actually do that. So really cool to be a part of, and just, really thankful for the time I spent over there.
Yeah, it's okay. So what was the midway through 2011? Jason was on his way to back-to-back titles. What was the tipping point for yourself, or the turning point where you went, okay, I want to go home? Was it you kind of reached the road with one another, or what happened, or you were missing home, or what was the deal?
We had a decent year up until then. We had probably a few races there where we struggled a little bit, coming into the month of May sort of thing. And, on those deals, it's a pretty intense thing. Like I said before, it's a lot of pressure when after you've already won one, to try and back it up. That's the hardest thing. So at that time we had, Chris Luck from GLR and a lot of people pumping money in, and we had the best of everything, and basically weren't really getting the results we wanted to. And I guess at the end of the day, they sort of figured we need to make a change here. And I guess, basically got told that was sort of the end of the road, and we're going to do something different. And, I understood that. It was just, it took a while to get used to, or it took a while to take it all in. But I mean, I understand that, now thinking back, that's just part of the deal. You got to do what you got to do. So, in the day, probably held against Jason a little bit for a little while, but, especially being so close with him and his family, and it was a really tough thing to take in, to listen to it, to say, mate, we need to do something different. But at the end of the day, when you see and think about it, that was probably, what they had to make a change. So I was the one to make a change. And at the end of the day, probably didn't talk to him for a little while. And
once the dust settled, so to speak, you were, So,
we just had a bit of a break for a while, and now we're back to how we were, like good mates, and talk every now and then, and wish the kids happy birthday, and spend some time when we do go to California, and it's all good. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just
business.
Great team, and it's not the end of the world,
No, exactly. All right, so after that, exit out of the US, you then linked with Scotty Millen, who had James McFadden in there, and that was the first for you guys to the 2011-12 season was the first year. How did it all come about with James and yourself linking up under Scotty Milling's ownership?
Basically, we moved back to LA after I finished up in America, and was living back with my parents to save some more money. And Dave, James' dad, was up at Rob Matthews' place fitting out Scott's new trailer, the old yellow one with the big 25 on the side. And he sort of said, do you want to come in and give us a hand and get this thing fitted out? And I said, no worries, didn't really have much else going on. So I gave him a hand, and he was probably a stretch to get it all done before they were sort of heading to Mackay and first race of the year. And he said, do you want to come up and give us a hand? I said, that'd be great. He goes, James, I'll Taylor. So that was that sort of all.
So was that a matter of, did it start off as a volunteer job, or were you getting paid, or how did it work in those initial stages?
I think we sort of agreed on something once we sort of helped work on the trailer. You sort of helped me out a little bit for him.
Because you were like because you're a World of Outlaws Championship, crew member sort of thing. So
at the end of the day, that doesn't probably mean a whole lot to some people here, but I guess knowing how to mount tires, just going to be able to put a car together, it's not going to fall apart at the end of the day. So
and that's the key.
People look for.
So okay, and then pretty much straight away, James and yourself gelled pretty well. How was it in those early stages? Because your first season you took the World Series title, the second season after that, back-to-back World Series titles, and then you also doubled it up with the Australian title at Brisbane's Archfield Speedway in 2013. How was it? Did you just gel straight away, or how was it?
I think probably we just got along really well outside of the car, so that makes things a lot easier when you go race with someone that you can talk to them and not have blow-ups and whatever else. We got along really good. James was obviously still young at that time, and I was sort of still learning my craft, as was James. So we sort of fed off each other and learned, how to do things right and wrong, I guess. Just
Because this was the first time of you as a crew chief, wasn't it? Before you'd been basically second pit crew member, but now you were calling the shots, and exclusively it was you and James working together with the team.
Yeah, it was fairly probably daunting, I guess, not having been in that position before, but it's really at the end of the day, it's the only way to learn is to jump in and have a crack at it and sort of learn by your mistakes and just move on to the next one. And, James was sort of in that boat as well with his driving, and, we sort of had days there, he was had to feed off and he was good. Scott had come to the races every now and then to really give us a few inspirational words and that sort of thing. But yeah, it was just good to, not really have a whole lot of pressure on us for one, I guess, and just go out there and enjoy it. Scott was always about enjoying what we do, and if we didn't enjoy it, he'd tell it, which, that was sort of where I was coming from as well, coming back to Australia. I just wanted to enjoy racing and learn and just keep learning and just enjoy it.
Yeah, and as soon as you enjoy it, obviously the success flowed. Where does winning World Series, both of those World Series titles that you won a contractor driver, is that correct? With James?
What was that, sorry?
You weren't a contracted team when you won both of those World Series, so you'd flown in sort of thing, and
Yeah, we just sort of went under the radar, not even under the radar, just did it and weren't contracted just basically so we didn't have the pressure of sort of performing. He could just go out there and just give it everything he had and not worry about the points. And because that plays on their minds a lot and everyone's minds really. And we just had the luxury of just going out there and just getting after it. And really, I think at the end of the day, that makes a big difference when you can not have to worry about the points. And Brooke will tell you that. He's always sort of gets after it once World Series is having a break or finished. And just it's unfortunately that, it's just a human thing where you really think about the points when you're in a situation like that. And you can't help it.
Yeah, this
being non-contracted.
Yeah, there's no pressure. It was just going to that. So you finished up with James at the end of the 13-14 season. Then the 14-15 season, you joined Jamie Veal's team. Was that just how did that all come about? With one of the successful driver, then another successful driver.
Yeah, I guess at the time I'd moved to Warrnambool to be, with the race car. James' dad's out in Alfred, and I'd sort of set up myself in town and the house, and probably as a long-term thing, we didn't really know where we were going with Scott. I guess as a long-term deal, but down the track after we finished racing, obviously he's based in Kalgoorlie, so it was sort of what's going to happen basically when we finish racing. I don't really want to have to move to Kalgoorlie and be away from family and friends, which I had been away for
so long
in America, and just sort of took a bit of a think about things and had a good couple of chats with Scott, and I just sort of made up my mind that I probably need to go another direction, even though everything was everything was great with him, James, everything was fine. It was just I had to set myself up for the future and looking forward as far as the family and stuff like that. I need to get set up a bit, so to go and work for the Deal family and have their family business basically based in Warrnambool was a big factor to me, and to have something after racing basically was why I moved. So
was that also the time where you met your future or now wife Simone? So originally a Sydney sider, but is that when you two first met at that stage too?
Yeah, I think Simone had been with me while I was with James.
Okay, yep.
And I think obviously that her moving down from Sydney and stuff like that to be with me was probably a big factor in that as well. So there's a lot of stuff to think about at that time when you got someone that's prepared to pack up and be with you. You got to sort of take everything. So it was more of a long-term decision for me.
Yeah. So with that, how much like Vealy and James are both good friends? Is there similarities between the two drivers, having worked at and achieved success with both drivers? Is there similarities between James and Jamie?
Both basically totally different drivers, really.
Yeah.
Jamie's a lot more calculated, and if the car's 90%, he'll drive drive it to 90% and not probably put it on the edge as much as James. And James will put it, he'll go that extra 10%. But, I mean, the next breath, that's probably, can cause crashing or whatever. But, at the end of the day, just everyone's the way they drive. And, it's just, that was all part of it to learn, their different styles. And probably the thing that they both got in common is, they want to win so bad. It's just, it's just the young mentality in the guys, and they're driven to get it done. And that's kind of what I sort of got out of both of them. They just sort of wanted to win that bad, and at the end of the day, they both put the hard work in, and we'll be able to get the job done.
Yeah, because in your 2 years with Veerley, he won he won 14 features in your first season together. Then I think 16, wasn't it, in the next season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a lot of success in a couple of years, and it was a good time, and really enjoyed my time with them and their family, and it was a different setup to what I was used to with Scott.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable as well.
Yep, so with that, picked up another World Series championship, so that was your third of career, once again as a non-contracted team. Winning the Grand Annual Classic, what did that mean for you with Jamie in 2016?
To me, that's my career highlight. Like, I'd always, obviously being there as a kid and, watching my heroes go around and race the Classic every year as a kid, and, I always told people that I'd rather win the Classics than the Nationals, and you get some of the Americans, and like Shane Stewart in particular, he said to me one day, he goes, "Mate, kick yourself, you get Crosswell's way better, it pays like 150 grand," and I said, "Well, I don't really think that matters, mate. Like, it's just the history of it all for me. It's been a kid watching the Classic, and to win that race was just probably the only time I've really had tears in the eyes after a race, I guess. Just so you really feel like you've made it, I guess, when you win that race, and it's just hard to explain, I guess. And being his first one as well, which was really cool to be a part of that with him as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then, is it a different feeling from winning that standalone race as opposed to the World of Outlaws Championship and World Series Championships?
I guess those series wins, I mean, they're more of a grind, and you really sort of, you put the hard work in to get those prizes, I guess, and obviously you do the Classic leading up to it, and preparing for it, but for just that weekend, everything's got to go right. If one thing goes wrong, it's over. So we were lucky enough to have a really good weekend that weekend. Jamie just drove the wheels off the thing and did a perfect job in the feature and got the job done.
Yep. And so after two successful seasons together, the end of the 15-16 season, you've achieved all this success. There's nearly 30 feature race wins there in 2 seasons, plus World Series Championship and a Grand Annual Classic. During the off-season, at the beginning of the last season, which was the 16-17 season, you decided to leave the team. What was the decisions behind that?
I'd had our first baby, Kate. I think it was the May before. And really, it was a lot of time on the road with the Deal family, and we spent a lot of time away because we were doing probably 60 nights a year, and it's takes its toll. And we were racing obviously World Series, and then we do a lot of other races around that. So it was a lot of time basically away from my family, and I felt that I needed to probably step back a little bit as far as the travel side of things, and then maybe branch out for myself to try and kick off a different probably career path as far as kind of just go and work for guys on the weekends or set up something at home. Or I didn't really know what I was going to do, to be honest. I felt like I needed to make a change, and I didn't want to do that midway through the year. So I gave him plenty of notice, and just sort of really thankful for the time that I had with him. Got a lot of success, and just wanted to probably build my family up and just spend time with my wife and my kids, and you know, I've seen a lot of people, especially in America, that, you know, the kids don't really know them because they're always on the road. Like, I didn't want to be that guy.
That's fair enough.
I didn't want to, I wanted to grow up with them and for them to grow up with me and just kind of just enjoy our family time, really. Just moved out and got a couple acres just out of town and, you know, I want to see them on their motorbikes around and not have their uncle come and send me videos when they're on the motorbikes and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy that.
No, that's fair enough. So, with Glenn Sutherland, so did that kind of fit your ideals, like your goals there, what you just spoke about? Did that fit with the teaming up with the Glenn Sutherland team? Is that on a full-time basis, or what's the deal with the Sutherland team?
Basically, Glenn's got 3 kids of his own, and probably, you know, I'm probably a little bit more suited to that deal because of basically their younger family, I guess.
Because you're both at similar stages in your lives, sort of thing. That's a big thing too. So
yeah, I mean, he was at the point where he wanted to probably get a little bit more serious about his racing. He's sort of been racing for 10 years, and you know, he needed that little bit of extra help to get him going a little bit better. And at the end of the day, he's got a very big business in there, Gambia, with the Gambia earth movers and stuff like that. And he probably couldn't put the time into that and his racing to be successful at both. So, you know, I think, you know, his father, before sort of he passed away years ago, unfortunately, sort of was a lifelong dream to sort of have, you know, someone work on the car and get a little bit more success and do some more traveling and stuff like that. So that's sort of where we ended up. We just sort of hooked up a little bit and just enjoyed spending time, basically, our families together, and the kids come to the races. And, you know, for me, I'm probably not driving the truck as much. Probably, you know, not a whole lot at all. And that really takes a lot of pressure off me to be able to be at home with the family and, you know, get Lyle to sort of help us out, driving the truck around, and Glenn sort of enjoys driving the truck still, but at the end of the day, he sort of got a very big business there. So he needs to be on deck there quite a bit of time. So he's sort of trying to get him up to speed a little bit. I think we've come a long way this time last year, and we're just chipping away. It's a bit of a work in progress.
Yeah.
We're both learning, and you know, we're enjoying it. Just having a good time.
Because he's also, like, from an outsider looking in, you've seen Glenn Sutherland's consistency improve, sort of thing. Do you feel that, you know, because he's been a guy that's a bit inconsistent, he could put it together one night but then be stuck in the B-main next, but I think he's a lot more consistent now. Was that the goal, or is that what he was chasing when you guys teamed up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, spent probably a lot of money over a lot of years, and, you know, he probably just has the time to put into it, you know, as far as the car prep and, you know, just everything. His business is so big, it's just, you know, he can't do both. So, I mean, it's taking a lot of load off him, you know, at work, and a lot of load off me not having to do the miles I used to, and be able to spend the time with the family. And really, at the end of the day, I do 2 to 3 days a week over there, and I'm home for a couple of days with the family and can do some stuff in the shed. And farm on the race day and go home on Saturday night after races.
Exactly. So the forward, looking ahead, Glenn, you know, I mean, do you just take it season by season sort of thing, or you can't look too far ahead when it comes to Speedway because it is tough?
Yeah, I mean, as long as I can sort of spend my family time, you know, with my family, that's the biggest thing for me now. I've been lucky enough to tick the boxes, winning a lot of races and having a lot of success, and that's still important, but probably now it's a lot more important for me to go to work and enjoy what we're doing, and, you know, to improve Glenn every night, and, you know, really see him come from where he started, and just have the family involved. And, you know, my first little guy, Kate, he's 2.5 now. He just loves going to races and gets pit passes, and to me, that's what it's all about now. And just enjoying our time with the family.
Yeah, and also you've got Cole that just arrived a couple of months ago, 3 months now.
Yeah, he's 13 weeks this week, so already. He was up Brisbane a couple of weeks ago doing Parramatta on Saturday night, so easy to do it.
Yeah. And one final question, Glenn. What advice do you have people that want to achieve a motorsport career, particularly in Speedway? Because as you and I both know how tough it is to make a living out of it. What advice do you have for people that want to follow in your path?
I mean, there's definitely a huge opening right now for guys like myself, and really at the end of the day, if you want to do it, it's like anything in life. If you want to do it bad enough, you'll be able to do it. It's just a matter of, trying to volunteer your time and just that. I mean, at the end of the day, if I had a roll with Max and said, hey, mate, I'd like to get paid to help you, that I wouldn't be here today. So it's just a matter of just getting on the grind and just doing it, and really, do it where you can and where you've got no ties and young, and just get right into it, soak as much as you can in, and just take notes. Every time someone tells you something, just have a little book and just write things down so you don't forget it. Just enjoy what you're doing, but just make sure you don't lose focus of what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and you've seen from when you were youngster, with John Faulkner Racing, where you just volunteered your time to the point where they were just like, okay, here's a job, because you kind of make yourself irreplaceable, don't you, sort of thing within a team to make it worthwhile for them to pay you.
Yeah, absolutely. You just get in there and just do the best job you can, and if that's good enough for someone to put you on, well, that's great. If not, we'll try and move on to the next one and do the best you can. It's just sometimes it doesn't work out, but sometimes it will, and you just sort of be thankful for the opportunities you get given and just do the best you can.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, Glenn. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope the listeners did as well. So, so good luck for the future, Glenn. Thanks for your time. And so thanks.
No worries, mate. I appreciate it. Thank you.